Southern California, welcome to Money Matters with Dino. Saturdays from noon to 1, right here on Power Players Radio, KTLK AM1150. Do you own a home or have plans to in the future? You'll get all the information you need to know about what's happening in the local real estate market and how to take advantage of that knowledge. How to approach home ownership or mortgage financing with design, vision, and focus, as well as accurate information. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, listen to Money Matters with Dino, right here on Power Players Radio, KTLK AM1150.
Welcome to Money Matters with Dino, the most important hour of radio for Southern Californians every week. My name is Dino Katsiametis, and I want to thank you for joining today's conversation. Sounds like a bold thing to say, the most important hour of radio. But if you're listening right now, I guarantee that by the time this show is over, you'll have learned something valuable. You go to our website, moneymatterswithdino.com, you'll see the tagline, From Your Estate to Real Estate, where your money matters. That title, it sums up what our show is all about. It's about money, your money. My goal and purpose for this show is to educate you regarding your money. Now, that can be anything from buying and selling homes to the stock market or even starting a new business. How do I do this? I seek out top professionals in their marketplace, and I have them share their years of experience and knowledge with you. Now, I know real estate, and I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. I even have knowledge in some other fields, but I don't consider myself an expert in all areas of business. Therefore, in this show, I bring you respected professionals that are experts in their fields because it's critical to me that I provide you with accurate and up-to-date information, and I take that very seriously. Like I mentioned before, my expertise is in growing and managing wealth using the vehicle of real estate. Having decades of experience and extensive knowledge in helping people with their real estate needs has convinced me that real estate is still one of the many and best ways to grow a steady and secure portfolio of wealth. But it's not the only one, and that's why I call the show Money Matters. The other, and I think the greater reason, is that money affects your quality of life. Every financial decision you make affects every aspect of your life, from where you live to how you live. And if you're a family man like me, it also affects if and where your kids will go to college. Think about that. Every financial decision you make today will affect your quality of life tomorrow. Decisions that will affect what neighborhood you live in, what schools your kids will go to, if your kids will be able to play an organized sport or even learn an instrument. I know that sounds silly, but it's not. All these things cost money. I know as well as anybody does, you don't want to say no because of money, but too many of us have to, too much of the time. Money, when managed properly, will enable you to say yes. And more importantly, understanding money, whether it's in the stock market, real estate, or stuffed under your mattress, can protect you from turbulent times like we recently experienced the past few years. Here's something I love to say, and you're going to hear me say it a lot. And this is coming from a guy that loves real estate. Don't just get real estate rich, get rich. And we're here to teach you how. I hope you enjoy this show. Before I get into what we have in store for you today, I want to share with you this week's words of wisdom. Customers are looking for ways to distill data meaningfully to detect problems, identify opportunities, and better plan for the future. Why did this quote absolutely slap me in the face today? Because it reminds me that we can't ever forget that the key to succeeding in business is to discover what the customer wants and give it to them in the best and most efficient way possible. Of course, you should implement technology in all of its possibilities into your work, but don't forget to focus on enhancing their life with your product or service. Think about their needs at every turn, and you'll see your business flourish. In a world where automation and outsourcing seems to be taking over, don't forget about the people who drive your bottom line, and I promise they will never forget about you. So how do we accomplish this? Well, stay tuned, because with us today in the studio, we have Aaron Hodson, the CEO of Harcourts USA, a very successful real estate company, and Bob LeFever. I hope I pronounced that right. We're going to have to ask him here in a minute. He's a VP in the luxury residential division of auction.com. Real great guys. I think you're going to enjoy them a lot today. And in our next segment, our guests will join us in our discussion with our panel of experts. Today, we're addressing the extremely important topic of striking a balance between technology and personal service in a changing real estate market. Don't miss out on that discussion. And as always, our last segment is the Ask Dino segment, where my producer Phil will ask questions about any mortgage related or real estate question that you had that you gave us on Facebook or emailed us. And that's always a real exciting segment because, it's the everyday questions that we answer. Now, if you have any questions for me or would like to get in touch with any of our guests that you hear today, you can give us a call at 949-720-1616. We'll be glad to help you. That's 949-720-1616. Or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. Use us as your resource for wealth. This segment is brought to you by DLS Transportation Limo Company. Luxury on-time transportation at a reasonable rate. I want to say quickly, just thank you to all the guys and gals over at DLS for joining our team. As you know by now, we only partner with top-tier professionals, and these guys certainly fit that requirement. If you have a need for a safe luxury ride and you want to get somewhere on time, do yourself a favor. Check out DLS Transportation. And not only that, they also private helicopter rides, private jets, you name it, they will put together a package for you, whatever you want.
I am already in love with these guys.
We got to convince them to hold a raffle or something for our guests. Limo ride to the airport, helicopter ride to Catalina.
I like it.
Little buffalo burger and back.
All right. How am I going to get in on this, though? That's what I thought. Okay. Never mind. Keep going.
We'll figure that part out. Anyways, everybody, if you guys don't know who that voice is, that's my co-host, Phil Giagrande. And he's going to be speaking on some pretty good stuff here today that he did some research on. Phil, tell us all what you're talking about.
Okay, well, here's something interesting from a dissertation I found online, specifically speaking to customer satisfaction regarding technology and business. So I'm going to read this to you. It's a little long, but it's great. In order to respond to the rapid change of the external environment, service providers of most industries have increased the use of technology so as to improve their productivity and competitiveness. In the service sector, technology has been used to standardize services by reducing the interaction between employee and customer. We've all seen this and been part of this, right?
Very much so.
Yeah. Some prior studies suggest that the traditional marketplace interaction is being replaced by a market space transaction. That means technology service weeds out personal service through competition. Also, there are a number of customers who will interact with technology to create service outcomes instead of interacting with a service firm employee, which I found very fascinating because I always thought you want to get the person on the line. You don't want to deal with a voicemail or any of that stuff. But online, a lot of times I want to pay bills online versus calling up or versus mailing it in, or so. I guess I can see both, right? In recent years, people rely on gradually matured SST, which is the self-service technology, which was converted from the original and traditional kind of service, personal service usage. Now, here's the conclusion. This report has gone some way to determine the relative impact of SST on consumer satisfaction and consumer commitment. From the data analysis, the results largely support that personal service usage and SST both positively impact on consumer satisfaction, and you need them. Essentially, you need them both. What this report is saying that a successful business should really employ a combination of personal service usage and self-service technology. A perfect example is the grocery store checkout. It's great that the fast lane machines are there if I'm running late, but if I have a little time, I always prefer going to an actual cashier. So I mean the point of all that talk is that really, if you can't figure out a way to integrate using good customer satisfaction and using your employees to show that and interact with the clients as well as your technology to make it easier for them, then you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. You can't rely on one and you can't rely on just the other. So that was sort of the point of the report.
That was a mouthful.
I know, that was a lot.
You know what though? You're absolutely right. I agree 100% with that. And at the end of the day, and maybe it's just more my personality, but I still feel that the one-on-one, the personal connection with somebody is what's going to create a better transaction for the process. Now, speaking just from my side of things, right, on the mortgage company, I guess it's different than buying a pair of shoes online, right? I mean,
Sure.
It's not the same thing. I'm dealing with somebody's money. I'm dealing with somebody's life. It's a much bigger transaction. Although there's still the big names out there and they advertise constantly and they don't have the personal interaction.
Right.
It's just quick online stuff. But I also know very well that if you don't fit in the box, that they're looking to have, they don't do your loan.
Yeah. You know what I've found that you do that's interesting, that I think works really well, is that you have a good structure and system behind the scenes so that you're real efficient on all the, once you're off the phone with them, you're super, super efficient. So you can get stuff done really quick.
Yeah.
But that gives you the time to actually be able to call and let them know what's going on and have that sort of personal service. So you're using the technology on the back end in your office where it's really important.
Right.
But all your interactions are pretty much you with the client.
And even myself, it has faded a little bit, right? Because what happened is with all that technology, it's given us the ability to actually do more than we used to. Because before, everything took longer to do, right? If you needed something signed, you had to go meet somebody and get it signed, or they had to come to your office. Well, just that alone does take more time. So we've definitely been able to knock out a few things, and it's helping us with our production and being able to do more. However, I've found that let me put it this way. One can say that if you don't have to deal with the customer, you can get more stuff done and thus make more money. But what I found is it's a one and out deal. I make the money, and it's over. I maybe didn't put as much time into it, so one can look at it that way. But the other client B, that I did put a little bit more time into, not a lot, but a little bit more, spoke with them, explained to him the situations, and still used the technology to speed things up a little bit and make it more efficient. That client, I got referrals from. That client came back. That client was a raving fan that helped me grow my business. So when I look at that, and I have other some coworkers, some just friends, peers in the industry, and they look at it as a nuisance that they have to talk to somebody. Absolutely not. I don't have time for that. It's like, wow, how do people have business like this and not care about their customer?
Right. The people that are funding their business.
I guess so. Because to me, that's exactly, you know what? I just said it right there. To me, that's exactly what it is. You don't care about your customer.
Yeah, that's it.
So you're listening to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions about anything you've heard here today, or you'd like to inquire about a refinance or purchase of a home, give me a call. I'm at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. And let me help you make the best real estate decisions for you and your family. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment is brought to you by DLS Transportation Limo Company, luxury on-time transportation at a reasonable rate. Coming up after the break, we have our discussion panel with the experts. Our guests are Aaron Hodson, CEO of Harcourts USA, and Bob LeFever from auction.com. While you're waiting, think about your financial goals and ask yourself, am I thinking like an entrepreneur in a way that will make me truly wealthy? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When it comes to purchasing or refinancing your home, turn to someone with experience, CHL Mortgage. It doesn't matter if you're a first-time home buyer, purchasing the home of your dreams, or refinancing. The team of mortgage specialists at CHL Mortgage provide you with superior knowledge and service. Their ultimate goal? Getting the highest quality loan at low rates. Their second goal? To create a lasting relationship with every client and continue to provide excellent service for years to come. If you're looking to purchase or refinance, call the experts at 888-814-3335. That's 888-814-3335. Get additional details at www.chl.cc or call their office at 888-814-3335. Finally, a reputable legal firm. CDA Law Center, a nationally recognized nonprofit homeowner advocate, one of the most trusted firms in the country for helping consumers with their loan modification process. CDA's attorneys have decades of combined experience guiding their clients through the very complex and choppy waters of loan modification. Call 877-499-4435, 877-499-4435. Finally, honest and ethical advice to gain real results. Call CDA Law Center at 877-499-4435. That's 877-499-4435, or check them out online at cdalawcenter.com.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions for me or my guests, or if you need help with your money matters, give us a call. We're at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. 720-1616 or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment is brought to you by CFAM Credit Solutions. CFAM Credit Solutions specializes in credit repair. They're experts in assisting clients to remove inaccurate, outdated, and misleading derogatory items from their credit reports. Doing loans for a living, I deal with people's credit on a daily basis, and I can tell you that credit can make or break you. I know a lot about this stuff, so call me direct at 949-720-1616, and I'll explain to you how it works. So joining us today in our discussion panel with the experts is Aaron Hodson. He's the CEO of Harcourts USA, and Bob LeFever from auction.com. Both of these guys are really exciting guys, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves because they have an extensive background. So guys, we have our topic today is striking a balance between technology and personal service in a changing real estate market. You know, Aaron, let's go to you first. Harcourts USA. You guys originated from where? New Zealand, Australia?
That's correct, yes. Yep.
I say that like it's the same place. I know to you it's totally different.
It's like saying Canada and US is the same place, same thing.
So tell us about Harcourts and why it's so different from the places out here.
I don't want to say it's so different. I mean, it's a 125-year-old company this year, so it's actually our birthday. I'm lucky to say I wasn't there at the start, but hope to be around for a few more years. But it's a cultural difference in real estate. I mean, our business is owned and operated and ran by real estate people that have been in real estate for many, many years. So, when the markets are tough and changing, we have a better understanding of what real estate people need in these types of market conditions. So when I say it's different, we've never lost focus on who the client was, and the client is our people. So,
and you gave me a stat when we talked the first time that even during this downturn, you guys have never had a down year.
No, that's correct. Yeah,
that's amazing. Especially, I'd say you can go to any real estate company during this time frame in the past 5 years, and they're going to sing a whole different song there.
Yeah, and it's not easy, and we all know that stats and figures get skewed a little bit from the truth. But reality is for us, it's we've had tough years like everybody else, and you just got to work twice as hard. And I think the key to that success was you never stop focusing on our people and making them better at what they do. When things get tough and budgets get tighter, it's easy to take away what makes your people good. So we made a conscious effort that when things got tougher, we kept investing in what we were doing, and our business grew. Subsequently 40% in the last 4 years. So.
And how about your role specifically? I mean, obviously the CEO, we all know what that means, but you got quite the background. You opened up China, right?
Yes,
what other places?
Opened up China, South Africa, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Macau, and I spent a long time in India looking at doing the deal there, and decided that wasn't the right step forward for our company, and then discovered the wonderful Orange County sunshine, and that's it, never left. So.
Is Orange County maybe the most similar to home?
Very much so, yes. It's funny, we were talking earlier on that I lived in Brisbane, Australia for many years, and being in Orange County, Laguna Niguel is where I live. It's very similar to home. Even the people, the culture, the attitudes, it's like a home away from home.
That's great. Before I get over to Bob, I have one last thing that I heard you say on the way up here that I loved. You guys have sold the cheapest house probably on record and the most expensive.
Yeah, we're just saying to Dino in the car that we've very, very large real estate business in South Africa, and we're one of the only real estate companies in the world that actually has franchises in the townships. So when obviously apartheid, things like that changed in South Africa, and they titled a lot of the townships. We sell some of those homes, and some of them sell for as much as $50 or $60. So.
Wow, that's amazing.
Commissions are huge for the agents. So.
All right, Bob, you've had an interesting career. You started off as an FBI agent and then moved to real estate. And so that in itself, to me, is really the most exciting thing that I want to hear a little bit about. But then after that, you moved over to Merrill Lynch, Coldwell Banker, and now you're the VP at auction.com. So with that history, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've seen a great deal in these 32 years in the real estate business. And everybody's always asked me, how in the world did you ever get from the FBI into real estate? And I always say to them, well, you're dealing with liars on both ends. In real estate, we always say buyers are liars. And so I was used to it. But actually, it was a very easy transition for me because the work ethic in the FBI is very, very high. And I brought that into the real estate industry, started my own company in Tampa, Florida, sold it to Merrill Lynch, and Merrill Lynch moved us out here to Southern California, which was a very easy move for my wife and I at the time and family.
Didn't look back after that.
No, never have. This has been a great run. Obviously, it's one of the most beautiful places in America. When I was in Mississippi with the FBI and coming from New York, that was a very interesting 2-year assignment. I got to know a lot of the Ku Klux Klan guys, very personally, and that was an eye opener for me. And it was a lot of good training for the FBI business. I learned a lot about people, how to read people, how to communicate with people. It just was a great background.
At auction.com, you're on the VP side, you're a vice president, so you don't go out and sell homes anymore, but I'm assuming with your background, maybe when you did at one time, you would do a full background investigation on the seller, figure out what their little points were, pressure points, and then force them to sell.
Something of that nature. But when you're dealing in luxury real estate, there is a seriousness to making sure people are qualified and making sure you're dealing with someone who actually can afford this home. And
Sure.
That's a big security issue when you're dealing with 10, 12, 15, $20 million homes or more. We've dealt with many movie stars, and they are always concerned about security, always.
Sure. Well, you can't blame them.
No, not at all.
So with auction.com, there's obviously a lot of the smaller properties because I think the majority of the business still comes from a lot of the foreclosures and stuff like that you were telling me about. But you guys have really been pursuing this luxury brand. And I know one of the things that we talked about on the way up here was that it's still a bit of a stigma that people don't understand. They think because it's on an auction that it's a distressed property, that somebody, the seller's having a hard time. It's really quite the opposite, isn't it?
Well, it is. And what's happened in America in the last 5 or 6 years with distressed property, we've never experienced this before. So people naturally think, and with our company so involved in the distressed properties, they think that everything that is being offered through auction is distressed. On the luxury side, it's the exact opposite of that. This is just a different way of marketing a home. It's more streamlined. It's totally different than the conventional way. And when it works, it's a thing of beauty to experience, and the sellers love it and the buyers love it. But we do get a little pushback in the beginning. People may say, well, I don't know if I want my home auctioned. But when we sit down and explain to them the marketing process and the timeline involved, that's when we pique their interest and we develop a relationship with them.
Just from my own experience in the real estate industry, especially down in the Newport Beach area, the high-end homes have an incredible amount of foreign buyers coming in and purchasing. So I'm assuming that's probably, maybe quite a few of the customers, because really thanks to technology, our market has grown significantly. It's not the guy that you're going to go drive and show the home to anymore. I mean, obviously that still exists. That's a big part of how the real estate industry works, but you can have a buyer in Japan. You can have a buyer in Australia, and they're going to buy a local home for over here for a vacation. That seems to be the pattern of what's happening these days.
And that is a pattern of what's happening. And what's interesting about when you go on the website, auction.com, you'll see all the different divisions. And that website is visited every day by thousands and thousands of people all over the world. And in our luxury division, that is very, very important to us. And last year, one of the most expensive homes we auctioned was a buyer from Japan. Another one, a ranch up in Santa Ynez, was a buyer from South Africa. We sold a vacation home, a cottage in Newport Beach, to a lady in New Jersey who had not seen the property, which is unusual. But her agent called her and said, "You ought to buy this." So she bid online. And we'll talk about that later, how that works. And she bought the property. She was the winning bidder.
That's great. That's great. If you just jumped into your car, you're listening to Money Matters with Dino. And we can be reached at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. All right, guys, so let's just jump right into the panel here. And let me ask you some questions. There's been a major shift in the real estate market, with extremely low inventory driving up competition for buyers and therefore also driving up prices. How has this affected your business? Do you spend more of your energy trying to attract sellers than anything else? Aaron, what about you?
That's an easy one for me, because Harcourts real estate company worldwide is we are a listing company, and that's basically what we do. I mean, our predominant focus is just to list properties, and everything we do is designed around promoting and selling the properties to the public. So for us, that's what we do no matter what the market conditions are. It's just having the stock and having the listing. So 100% agree with it. But chasing buyers, there's so many of them out there at the moment. And I have a common thing that we train in the office that if you've got a listing, you've got a guaranteed paycheck. If you've got a fully cashed up buyer ready to buy, you've got a 1 in 10 chance of getting paid. So it's the focus is on having better agents that can deliver a better service to the sellers.
Bob, what about you?
Well, these are interesting times. These are uncharted waters. We have never in America, countrywide, have had low inventory. Usually that's just a little pocket local phenomenon. Here, this is happening all over the United States. In a sense, we're not affected by that because we deal both with sellers and buyers. And so we're constantly putting properties out on the market, on the website, and we're constantly attracting bidders to those properties. So in so many segments of our company, this hasn't had any effect whatsoever.
All right, next question. Is client retention more important than it used to be? And if so, how do you keep your clients connected to you? Feel free, one of you guys.
It's always been the most important thing because, reality is for us, the business that we're in is the people business, not the real estate business. Homes sell themselves, and having the clients that own the properties is the number one thing. So it's never changed. It's always been the most important part of your business is keeping your clients' retention. One of our philosophies of our company is clients for life, and that's basically what it is. Doesn't matter where they go, where they move. It's a God-given right to own a home. So
what's interesting, and it doesn't make any sense to me because that's my personal philosophy as well, and the reason why I do so much repeat business. And I think my first true generational loan that I did is when the parents passed down their kid to me. That was my best compliment ever. I was on cloud 9 that day because that's true client retention. And the funny part though is real estate, it's a people business, like you said, but yet there's so many real estate agents out there that don't understand that.
I think the challenge with that, though, Dino, is that the majority of realtors, whether we like this or not, but the majority of realtors, because of the way that the industry is and the way that the market's been for the last 5 or 6 years, the thought process is instant gratification. How do I get a deal together very, very quickly? The thought process is not, how do I make this last forever? How do I make this a career, and how do I get a consistent paycheck every single month? And reality is it's a financial situation that most get into where I need to get something done. So client retention is never high on the priority. Getting the deal done becomes the highest priority. And that's one of the things that we train our agents not to be focused on. The closer you keep your client to you, they know people, they talk.
Sure.
And it's constantly being able to promote what you do as a service level.
Bob, what about you with such a technology-based business? How does that affect your business? How do you guys look at it?
We look at it this way. Even though we're a technology-based business, it's all about our clients. And when you look at this company starting 22 years ago and where it is today as the #1 online real estate marketplace, that hasn't happened by accident. The two founders who founded this company are obsessed with customer satisfaction and repeat business with clients. And we just kind of have that as a culture day in and day out.
If you're listening to Money Matters with Dino, you have any questions at all about your mortgage, current rates, or programs, or you have any questions for our panel of experts here today, give us a call at 949-720-1616 and let us help you. I also want to remind you that I'm a mortgage banker, and this is a very complicated market for both buyers and sellers. Therefore, my recommendation is to put together a team that really knows the industry, knows your market, and understands your needs. If you'd like some help putting that team together in your area, call me up. I will definitely help you with that. But the other thing, and also just a quick little thing about the way the industry is right now, getting into a home is virtually impossible because of all of the offers and buyers out there. So what I've done is I've created a close on time guarantee for my clients that basically states that I, as the lender, if we don't close on time, will give the seller $100 a day until the day we close. And we're doing up to 15-day closes right now. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to set you, the buyer, trying to set you apart from everybody else. So if you'd like more information on that, I'll explain to you how it works, and hopefully we can get you in a house sooner than later. Phone number is 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. We'll be back after the break and continue our panel discussion with the experts. Till then, think about how you can use this information to make the most of this fast-paced economy. After all, we're here to help you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Finally, a reputable legal firm. CDA Law Center, a nationally recognized nonprofit homeowner advocate, one of the most trusted firms in the country for helping consumers with their loan modification process. CDA's attorneys have decades of combined experience guiding their clients through the very complex and choppy waters of loan modification. Call 877-499-4435, 877-499-4435. Finally, honest and ethical advice to gain real results. Call CDA Law Center at 877-499-4435. That's 877-499-4435, or check them out online at cdalawcenter.com.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions for me or my guests, or if you need help with your money matters, give us a call. We're at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. You can also check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This next segment is brought to you by Citywide Home Loans, bringing you low rates, specials on closing costs, and exceptional service. We're sitting here in the middle of our panel discussion with the experts. If you're just tuning in, we're having an incredible discussion about striking a balance between technology and personal service in a changing real estate market. Of course, if you missed any part of the show, you can go back to moneymatterswithdino.com and check it out in its entirety. We try our best to get it online immediately, but sometimes Phil takes an extra day to make that happen.
I just have to defend myself. As soon as the stuff is in the drive, I'm on it.
As soon as.
All right, maybe not as soon as.
All right. Well, no, we will do our best. This show is going to be on Saturday, and today we actually have a bonus show as well on Sunday. But hopefully by Monday morning it's there, and if you missed any part of it, you can catch it online there. All right, so let's get right back into it. How do you guys define and then measure customer satisfaction? Is it as easy as, hey, they came back, or is there actually like a tool that you guys use to measure it, or a grading system?
It is as simple as, yes, they come back. But I mean, we at Harcourts worldwide, we survey every single client that has any interaction with a Harcourts employee to find out basically.
As a company, you do. So whether the realtor wants it or not, it's going to happen.
Yeah, through our complete back-end system, any client that comes into contact with a Harcourts person, we have a philosophy that they've got to be better for that experience. So what we do is we constantly survey our people about what we could change, what we could fix, what were the areas of our business that they liked or disliked, and that's how we stay on top of it. So you've got to know, you've got to listen to your clients, and you've got to ask them the right questions. So it is as simple as, yes, they come back, but you've got to know why they come back, so you can emphasize that as being your point of difference on your service levels.
I like it. Bob, what about you guys?
We define customer satisfaction not only by a repeat customer, but by how well they rate us in our customer surveys and call monitoring.
So you do the customer surveys as well?
Absolutely, and every call is monitored. We review the surveys daily. We look for ways to improve our customer service, as well as review online blogs to open a dialogue with customers to see how we could improve our relationship with them. And customer service is that first experience that customer has with us, obviously.
Sure.
And we want to make sure that that experience is as valuable as them becoming a repeat customer.
Aaron, this one's specifically towards you. Harcourts has a program that sounds so amazing. I actually want to send my entire office over there, and we do mortgages. Tell us about the Harcourts Academy.
First part to your question is you can't. And there's actually a reason behind that. I mean, the Harcourts Academy has been around for 20 or 30 years, and it's been designed specifically for our people. And one of the ways of us staying on top of our business is ensuring that our agents are the best trained, best equipped people in the industry. So the academy for us is designed by real estate people. It's for our real estate people, and it's only for our people. So to give you an idea of the depth of that, outside of the US, we're actually the licensing body. I mean, in Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa, it's a registered training, like a university. So there's a lot of depth that goes into it, and you can actually go to the Harcourts Academy and be licensed to sell property. So the only way that you can bring your people is become Harcourts salespeople. But and it's free to all our agents, so they can come 7 days a week if they like. We do a lot of training online in the office and in the classroom. Every one of our locations around the world, we have a fully equipped interactive academy that they can go to. We have full-time trainers. We have a full-time trainer for every 30 office, and it's just about making sure that your people stay connected to what it is you do. I like to remove the training aspect of it, or the word training, because it's more of the association with other people that are trying to learn. And our agents get a better value of just associating with other agents that are doing great things, and that's what helps them become successful. The word training gets a bit repetitive.
Sure.
But it's getting your agents in a room with other people that are willing to learn, and they're sharing their ideas, and they're actually helping grow their business. So, that's how we do it. It's tough, and we spend a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of resources on putting it together, but it is without a doubt one of the key attributes to our business being so successful worldwide.
I love it. What about technology? How does that play into how you find clients?
I've got a different opinion on this one. I could get shot for it, but it's hey, I'm the younger generation. I'm turning 40 this year, and I mean, I honestly believe that technology is one of the biggest things holding us back from generating a great customer service, because technology is becoming a barrier and an easier way for people to communicate. So it takes away the eye-to-eye contact, and I believe that nobody will ever do business with you with their biggest asset unless they can look you in the eye. Majority of people will go through numbers. I'll send 1,000 emails and see what comes back, where nothing beats customer service of you looking me in the eye and generating a relationship with me. So technology, I believe, it's a necessity. It has to be there. You have to understand it, but it doesn't become the barrier between you and the client. I believe you've got to meet the client first, and technology keeps you connected. It doesn't get you connected. So sure. I believe it's one of those things that we have to manage very, very carefully with new people coming into the industry, that they don't get lost in technology, because we're realtors for a reason. If we were IT experts, we would be working in the Silicon Valley somewhere. So getting an agent back to what good old common customer relationships were all about was meeting people, shaking hands, doing the right thing, being trustworthy, and then using technology to keep you abreast of what's going on in the industry is very important. But we've got to make sure it doesn't get in the way of doing what we do really well.
So this is going to be interesting, because here on the opposite end of me, we have auction.com, which is all about technology. But I have a sneaky suspicion that it's not as much as everybody thinks, because you guys still deal with real estate agents. You still deal with personal interaction with people, but maybe not yourselves, right, personally, but you do through all the agents.
That's correct.
How does that work?
Well, the way it works is the properties we get to auction on the luxury end come to us through our relationship with real estate agents. And what actually happens, even though all this technology is on auction.com is laid out in front of everybody, what we do when we have a property, the first thing that is done, there's an auction coordinator that spends an hour and a half, either in person or on the phone with the home seller, walking them through every step of the marketing process that leads up to the auction day. So it's very high touch. Even though everything behind it is high tech, there is a person involved with that homeowner all the way through the process, and the agent is involved through that with that auction coordinator also in this process.
So in essence, are you a marketing company for that real estate agent and homeowner?
That's exactly right, and at no cost to them.
And at no cost, you're taking it worldwide, basically.
That's right.
So maybe it's something that agent doesn't know how to do, or doesn't have the money or backing to do properly.
Exactly right, and we do, and so it's a great partnership, is what it is with that agent and the homeowner. The seller is the winner. In
both of your cases, and all of us, we deal with the real estate market worldwide now. In the entire world, what's the most booming market? I mean, what do you think is it here in California?
Well, actually, no. My hometown of New York, Manhattan is on fire. Prices are still going up. There's tremendous international demand still for property in Manhattan. I mean, the prices are way beyond California prices. They surpassed us a while ago. There was just a survey done of luxury homes in the United States, and Manhattan is first, and Beverly Hills dropped to number 2 in homes selling $5 million and over.
Okay,
and a lot of that is cash money, and it's international money, obviously.
Yeah. And Aaron, your company is worldwide. What's the most
It's
booming
interesting.
market?
There are other countries outside of the US, yes.
Not to me. I mean, my little backyard over here is, and I've traveled, but it's funny. I mean, and maybe I don't know if I don't know if the rest of the world feels like that too. But I guess the whole LA or California people think that the world revolves around us.
Yeah. Hey, I think that's the luxury of growing up in a small country. You have to travel. You have to travel to learn things. You know, I grew up in New Zealand, and you can drive from one end to the other in 12 hours. So you've got to go somewhere else to get some education and to learn things. So
what's cool about you guys though is you guys travel like 6 to 8 months out of the year and work, like another 4.
Yep, pretty much. It's all about lifestyle. No, I mean, I believe a lot of the Asian markets are going to be, that's where the booming market is. Whether I say it's the market or the money or the actual financial investment, that's where the biggest impact's going to be. And there's been some interesting law changes in China recently with residents only being able to own one property, which is going to generate more interest from overseas investors. But reality is the whole of the US is going to be a boom market because the interest rates have never been lower. Sellers' confidence is coming back. People might disagree with me on this or not, but I don't mind the low inventory because it's what needs to happen to change markets. Low inventory gets rid of the people that came in and are wasting time. It gives confidence back to sellers when they look there, and there are genuine people trying to buy their properties. If you're uncertain about the market and you've got 5 people making offers on your home, it gives you that confidence back. Whether they decide to sell now or in a year or 2 years down the track, it's irrelevant, but it brings the confidence back because the public does predict what happens from here with the market moving forward. So,
what's interesting is not only do I agree with you 100% on that, but I also look at it from the other side of the coin with the real estate agents and the lenders out there. The low inventory is actually making it a little more difficult, and the cream rises to the top, right? The rest will hopefully fall out. And we already saw a huge influx of both lenders and realtors leave the business, which during that time, I got to admit, it sucked. It was absolutely horrible. Yeah. But I made it through, and it absolutely set me apart from everybody else. And the one thing I got to say, too, is, I had a customer one time tell me, I talked to this person over here. What do you think? And I used to say, just without a doubt, it was always, don't bother. Everybody's an idiot in this business. They all used to sell cell phones or use cars, and now they're doing loans. But at that time, I actually replied back with, honestly, if they're still in the business, they got to be okay. And that was actually kind of nice, having somebody in, feeling like my industry was being uplifted a little bit.
It's interesting. We've got some pretty successful businesses in smaller countries, obviously, than the US. And one of the luxuries that we have from experiencing those markets is the cycles are quicker. So you see what happens with the recovery. So the low inventory, although you may have never experienced here in the US, I've been through 3 or 4 of them where the inventory's got very, very low, and it always does have a real positive impact on the market because it brings the confidence back into it.
In case you just tuned in, you're listening to Money Matters with Dino. We can be reached at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. All right, guys. If someone purchases a foreclosed property, is it cleared of all liens when they're sold?
That depends on the situation. There's no clear answer to that. So it depends what the liens are, where they're coming from, whether it's coming from the IRS. And so a title search is very, very, very important if anyone is purchasing a foreclosed property.
So if a bank forecloses on an individual, he no longer owns the property, and then the bank tries to sell it, somebody buys that property, they might actually get stiffed with a lien that wasn't theirs?
Well, there could be a mechanic lien hidden somewhere. There could be an IRS lien hidden somewhere. There could be a state lien hidden somewhere from, the state tax board. So you just got to do your homework, and you got to make sure that you have, you need to do your due diligence, and you need to have a title report done on that property.
So, that goes back to what I tell my listeners all the time, and you got to have a team of people around you that you trust and can work with, because having the right people keeps you out of trouble, basically.
That's correct.
Regarding the auction part, at one point, do bidders actually see the property?
They have ample opportunity to see the property. Let's say an auction would be coming up on April the 24th, which is, the middle of next week. And that property's been on our website for well over a month now. During this whole time, there have been open houses being held, and we expect potential bidders to call us, which they do. We're in touch with them all the time. and we make arrangements through the listing agent for them to see the property and inspect the property if they wish to do so.
You're listening to Money Matters with Dino. This segment was brought to you by Citywide Home Loans. If you have any questions about your mortgage, current rates, or programs, or you're looking to buy a new home or investment property, or just want to know more about the close-on-time guarantee, give us a call at 949-720-1616 and let me help. That's why we're here, to make sure you get the most out of your assets, managing your finances, protecting your family, and becoming real estate wealthy. Call us at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. Stick around after the break. We're going to wrap up a couple questions in our panel discussion. Then we're going to get to the Ask Dino section, where you, the listener, have asked us a bunch of questions either through Facebook, Twitter, or just emailed it to us. So we'll be right back.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.
Finally, a reputable legal firm. CDA Law Center, a nationally recognized nonprofit homeowner advocate, one of the most trusted firms in the country for helping consumers with their loan modification process. CDA's attorneys have decades of combined experience guiding their clients through the very complex and choppy waters of loan modification. Call 877-499-4435, 877-499-4435. Finally, honest and ethical advice to gain real results. Call CDA Law Center at 877-499-4435. That's 877-499-4435, or check them out online at cdalawcenter.com.
Thank you for hanging with us. This is Money Matters with Dino. I'm your host, Dino Katsiametis, and I'm here to give you the tools and information to build a secure and strong portfolio using real estate and other investment tools. If you have any questions and want to get a hold of me or any of our guests here today, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment is brought to you by CDA Law Center, expert loan modifications with decades of legal experience in real estate. Aaron, I got a question for you. First I'm going to relay it to myself, and then you can help me answer it. I built my business all on referral-based, just repeat business, and I guess doing a good job is, I always say, just do a good job. You get referrals, it's free. You don't have to pay for anything after that. And, I'm at a point, though, where it's so busy that I have to make a decision. Either I work more hours, I pass on a few completely, or pass them down to maybe some of the younger guys, or grow my business in a different way. What do you recommend? How does one do that?
It's the worst problem in the world to have, Dino, to say that you're too busy, but there is actually no such thing. You've just got to learn to work smarter, and I believe that repeat referral business is the key to success long term in any business. And but you can never stop focusing on generating new clients, and how you go about doing that has to be very consistent, systematic, and it has to really reflect who you are as a person. I run a program through our training academy, which is it's called Your Raving Fans. And how do you create a group of people that constantly go out and promote you and who you are and what you do for a job? And if you focus on a smaller key group of people that can do that for you, business becomes easier. But your focus needs to be on time management and how you actually deliver that same level of service continually every day to those people. So there's a part of me that agrees with you, but there's a part of me that also says you can never forget about bringing new people in, because there's always changeover. There's people leave, they move, they have different things in their lives that change. So you've got to constantly keep adding to that core group of people that can give you repeat referral business.
And I've never been able to say no to a client, because it's my biggest reward. When somebody calls and says I was referred to you by, I absolutely cannot say no, but I'm also working a ridiculous amount of hours every day. And it's like you said, I think it's just time I work a little smarter, hire the right support, and set up systems.
Yeah. Well, I have a philosophy in my business, Dino. I hire people that can do the things that I can't do really, really well and get out of their way.
You know, my background is Greek, and my dad, obviously, if you've seen my Big Fat Greek Wedding, you
Your
know
last
that
name never gave it away. I'm sorry.
you know the proud Greek heritage, and my dad was telling me one time about this Greek guy way back when he was younger, and he had come to the States when he was like, I think 20 or 21 years old, and he said one of the most successful Greek men out here is a huge billionaire, and he barely speaks English. And somebody asked him one time, a big question, and he looked over and he goes, my attorney's going to answer that. And then somebody asked him another question. He looked over at his other shoulder, said, my financial advisor is going to answer that question. And his response basically meant, I have people that do all these things. I don't know. I'm not the best at all of it, but I have the best working for me.
Yeah, it's find people that you like, that you trust, and you don't have to work so hard.
Yeah, I love that.
If you trust people and you have a great team of experts around you that will replicate what you do, and you don't micromanage them, your job becomes easier. You work a lot smarter, not harder.
Right.
And
Bob?
that's been the history of auction.com. When you stop and think about this company, was started 22 years ago by Rob Friedman and Jeff Frieden, and what they've built in those 22 years, and to watch them operate on a daily basis, which I get a chance to do. They're constantly meeting new clients, constantly meeting institutional clients, and yet constantly meeting with people they've had relationship with years. And there's got to be that balance. There's got to be that balance of both. And that's why this company is one of the great successful American business stories in America. It's just amazing to watch it. I mean, they have offices now in New York, Dallas, Miami, England, Germany. It's become international and employs about 1,000 people, all from scratch.
That's amazing. Actually, on my way home every night, I actually see the big sign up off the freeway there.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate all your insight. And if anybody, again, missed any part of it, absolutely go to our website, moneymatterswithdino.com, and we'll have the show up there, and it'll be on YouTube as well. Thanks again, guys.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Phil, we don't have much time, and I know we got to get to these questions. We try very hard every week to answer the questions that we received throughout the week from the listeners. So shoot them off at me, Phil.
All right, here we go.
Let's get some answers.
Are lenders still waiting until borrowers are way behind on the mortgage before offering to modify their loan?
I'm not a loan modification expert. I absolutely hate that entire space. So I would refer somebody over to Bill Baskin over at CDA Law Center. I actually just read an article, though, that said that it's not required now to be late. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. It seems like, just from my experience with all of it, they never want to talk to you if you're paying. Second, you miss a payment, then they're bugging the heck out of you every day. So, but I did read an article recently that said that it's not required to be late anymore.
I was thinking now is the time to expand my portfolio with real estate, but I'm worried about a double dip recession. Is there anything I can do to protect myself from housing depreciation?
Well, I have a crystal ball, and when I look into it and ask it nicely, it replies back, I have no idea whatsoever. So my official answer is I have no idea. I mean, I'd love to say it's over. I'm an extremely optimistic guy, so I don't feel like there's going to be a double dip. And I feel like things are working good and coming back. And all the things that I look at, I feel like we're there. The economy is getting better. And there's always, I go to my barber. Mark, if you're listening, my gosh, you're the most negative person I know. You're constantly saying, it's coming. You have no idea. It's just going to get worse. They're going to go down to 1960 prices. Well, you know what, dude? It's probably not. I think it's over. We're back up on the rise again. But you do a great hair cutting job, and thank you.
Thanks for your real estate advice. Okay. All right. Let's finish this out with, is it better to build a home or buy an existing one in terms of appreciation?
I rarely ever recommend for anybody to build a home. It takes a special person to be able to pull that off. And the other thing too, and this is coming from experience with a lot of clients, if you are going to build a home, Make sure you have a rock solid relationship, because you'll probably be divorced by the time it's over. Or one of you guys just go away for a year and come back to a brand new home, because it's not easy. There's a lot of issues that come along with it, and usually a lot of heartache. So I would say go ahead and buy a home that's already existing. Tell me we have more time. No?
Not really.
All right. Well, for the ones we didn't answer, I will get back to you personally, okay? That's the end of our show today. Unfortunately, we ran out of time, but you're listening to Money Matters with Dino. And if you have any questions about anything you heard on the show today, don't wait. Pick up the phone and get the answers you need. We're here to help you. Call 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. Or you can also find us online at moneymatterswithdino.com. We're a tremendous resource for you to use anytime. Thank you to my expert panelists this week, Aaron Hodson he's the CEO of Harcourts USA, and Bob LeFever from auction.com. Also, a big thanks to my producer, Phil, for all the hard work you do and all the research and everything before we go on air. A very special thank you goes out to all of you listening and all of you that send in your questions. You're the reason I come on air every week. I love doing the show. I truly do, and I hope you get as much out of it as I do. If you missed any part of the show and you'd like to hear it online, just go to moneymatterswithdino.com. Thank you all so much for listening, and remember, don't just get real estate rich, get rich. Bye for now.